Now at 10, investigators are revealing what they say sparked a deadly shooting outside a Waterbury nightclub that left 2 people dead. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10 tonight. I'm Brent Harden. The 2 17-year-old suspects are now being tried as adults as police continue to piece together what happened that night. Fox 61's Tim Leteau reports.
Those 2 teens are each being held on a $3 million bond for murder charges. They will be tried as adults. Police also revealed what they say they believe led up to the shooting.
We're still working on the details of what occurred inside the club that prompted them to go outside the club, get weapons, and start firing.
It started with a fight inside a club and ended with a double murder on the sidewalk. Waterbury Police Chief Fernando Spagnolo says a pair of 17-year-olds, DeAndre Weaver and Dorian Glenn, opened fire on a crowd of people outside the LA 42 nightclub in the early hours of July 5th. It's not clear how the teens got inside the club in the first place.
That's something that they were talking about. There's been some reasons why offered by club management why they were there that night. We're investigating that.
The shooting left 22-year-old Trayvon Dunbar and 18-year-old Zanaya Dawkins dead. Dawkins' father, Tywan Dawkins, wants his daughter to be remembered as a loving family member to her large immediate and extended family.
Very family-oriented. She has a bunch of sisters, very close with her niece, her cousin.
Investigators say there's no evidence the victims and suspects knew each other before the confrontation. Both suspects were taken into custody without incident at separate locations in New Britain 5 days after the shooting. They were first arraigned in juvenile court, but were taken to adult court due to the nature of the charges. Police say a break in the case came from a cell phone one of the suspects allegedly dropped at the scene.
With the amount of information that is available through digital analysis, we have a very robust forensic computer crimes division here.
Police say the East Main Street corridor has been an area plagued by crime. Spagnolo says his department has increased patrols, enforcement, and community outreach in recent years.
This is not the first time we've seen violence at this club. Club's owner, Janet Alvarez, was murdered at the club back in 2020. So it has been something that's been on our radar.
As for the victims in this latest shooting, Zanaya Dawkins' dad thinks of what his future could have been with his daughter.
We were just sitting down together doing her financial aid, and she was supposed to start in September, and she was so happy about starting and telling me she's about to be her future RN, and when I get old, she's going to take care of me.
The Connecticut Department of Consumer Protection confirmed to Fox 61 that the club voluntarily gave up their liquor license. The LA 42 nightclub is now closed. In Waterbury, Tim Leteau, Fox 61.
We had the heat outside today, the humidity, but it wasn't as hot as we initially anticipated. High temperatures did make it up around 90 in the Hartford area. I was forecasting a high temperature around 96, 97. So why did we fall short of those numbers? And this is the reason why. It was unexpected that wildfires were going to ignite and really explode in Canada. And all of the wind transported that smoke into the upper atmosphere here at home in Connecticut. You might have noticed that hazy, yellowish, whitish hue to the sky. And it looks like that smoke might be just as thick, if not more intense, as we head into tomorrow. And it could even reduce air quality. So if you suffer from respiratory illnesses, if you have asthma, older adults and younger children, if you're pregnant, you may want to limit the amount of time spent outside. There are no air quality alerts in effect just yet, but I think as we evaluate the air samples tomorrow, it is possible. Overnight lows are going to be very warm and it's very humid. Not great sleeping weather tonight. We only drop back into the upper 70s. Then a similar day tomorrow, up around 90 degrees. We will see falling humidity and we'll have those smoky skies. Your full forecast is coming up.
Rachel, thank you. An 18-year-old man was rescued after a near drowning at Kettletown State Park in Oxford. Encon police say the teen jumped from a cliff into Lake Zor Tuesday afternoon, struggled to swim and went underwater. His brother pulled him to shore and began CPR. The teen later regained consciousness and was taken to Waterbury Hospital. During the response, an Oxford Fire Department boat capsized, sending everyone on board into the water. Everyone did make it out of the water safely. New Haven police have arrested 2 suspects in connection with the 2023 homicide Police say 25-year-old Ramon Yates was shot near Dixwell Avenue and West Hazel Street in March of 2023. He died from his injuries 2 days later. Investigators identified Taylon Jackson and Devin Gardner, both of New Haven, as suspects. The two were taken into custody July 11th and charged with murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and carrying a pistol without a permit. They are each being held on $2 million bond. City and police officials will provide more details at a news conference tomorrow morning. New London police have arrested a man in connection with a shooting in March. 21-year-old Jameer Muller faces multiple felony charges after investigators say forensic testing linked a shell casing found at the scene to a handgun seized from him during a separate arrest. No one was injured in the shooting. Muller is being held on $750,000 bond and is due in court August 25th.
What are you doing? Hey, stop! Hey, stop!
The state agency that investigates police shootings today released body cam and dash cam video of an officer-involved shooting in Manchester late Sunday night. The Office of Inspector General also released a preliminary finding saying despite a report that the suspect was wielding a knife, no knife was found at the scene. Here's a look at the video released today. Sunday, July 12th, shortly before 11 p.m., Manchester police received two 911 calls from the same man saying a family member, now identified as 18-year-old David Cordero, was, quote, out of control and armed.
Does he have, is it a kitchen knife, a pocket knife?
Kitchen knife.
Officers were dispatched to the home at 994 Parker Street and were warned the suspect was armed with a knife. Officer Anthony DeJulius was the first to arrive, and just as he exited his police cruiser, he saw Cordero chasing another man running toward him. DeJulius ordered Cordero to stop and then fired 3 shots, hitting him in the shoulder.
What are you doing? Hey, stop! Hey, stop!
We saw police going by, and within minutes we heard gunshots.
2 neighbors say they were out walking their dog when they heard the gunshots.
It scared us, so we headed right for the house.
Now, a preliminary report from the Office of Inspector General says despite the 911 caller's report that Cordero was armed with a kitchen knife, no knife was recovered from the scene. Cordero received medical treatment at the scene and then was taken to Hartford Hospital. The Inspector General's office continues to investigate the shooting. Cordero was treated and released and has been charged with assault in the 3rd degree, criminal trespass in the 1st degree, disorderly conduct, and criminal mischief in the 3rd degree. The Orange Police Department is investigating one of its sergeants following his arrest in Hartford. Court records show Sergeant Frank Koshas was arrested July 11th on charges of disorderly conduct, interfering with an officer, and 1st degree criminal trespass. He was released on a promise to appear and is due in Hartford Community Court July 15th. Orange police say Koshas reported the arrest to the department and an internal investigation is underway there. Officials say he has no disciplinary history in his 9 years with the department. Now, police have identified the man killed in a motorcycle crash in New Haven Saturday. Investigators say 34-year-old Omar Ryan died at the scene after crashing into the gate of a building on State Street. It happened just before 5:45 a.m. Ryan got trapped underneath the slingshot-style motorcycle he was riding. Police do not believe any other vehicles were involved. Anyone with information about what happened is asked to contact New Haven Police. One person remains at large after a stolen car crash in West Hartford. State police say the 2-car collision happened around 11:06 Monday night. 4 people ran from the stolen vehicle after the crash. 3 were taken into custody. Police continue searching for the 4th. Minor injuries were reported. A Blue Plate Kitchen in West Hartford is back open now after a fire broke out inside the restaurant Sunday. But the business located directly below it wasn't as fortunate. Fox 61's Kayla Cade spoke with the owner of Float 41 about the damage and the challenges of keeping her business afloat.
For many people, Float 41 was more than a business. It was a place to manage chronic pain, reduce anxiety, and find relief from PTSD. Now, after a fire and heavy water damage, the owner says her clients are heartbroken as they wait to learn when or if they can return.
It's really painful for us to know that people don't have their safe place here.
A building once full of healing and relaxation now has a sign on the door. stopping people from entering from Float 41.
The center has been deemed unsafe for occupancy.
It was placed there on Sunday after a fire started at Blue Plate Kitchen, a restaurant above the building.
Within moments, our space was filled with smoke and hundreds of gallons of water rushed through our space because we are directly below.
We were not allowed to go inside to see the water damage, but owner Sarah Latiano says it was a surreal moment walking in to see what was left of her business.
Water touched everything. It's compromised so much of our space.
4 float tanks, usually filled with 1,400 pounds of Epsom salt and 10 inches of water, are now out of service.
We have suffered incredible amounts of damage.
This makes it harder for them to follow their initial plan for their Teen Float Scholarship program.
The program started July 1st and goes through August 31st. With the situation we're in right now, we might end up extending that.
Latiano says they had previous struggles with Float 41 because of the COVID-19 pandemic. She had just opened weeks before.
We save lives every single day through COVID. Every single day people are finding their peace and solace, and to see that disappear like that in a moment was a crazy feeling. A part of you is ripped away.
But despite the loss in West Hartford, Latiano is keeping her head high and focusing on her mission, helping people through flotation therapy.
This is why I'm here. This is my passion. This is my purpose. It's why I was given the gift of another day and life, to be able to take this healing power and give it to everybody else.
There's still no timeline for when Float 41 will reopen. The owner says they're only beginning to assess the damage and expect the recovery to take months. But in the meantime, clients can still visit the business's Cromwell location as the West Hartford facility remains closed. In West Hartford, Kayla Cade, Fox 61.
Well, the city of Hartford is helping dozens of people find housing after a roof collapse forced them from their homes earlier this month. The July 4th collapse on Sumner Street displaced 40 adults and 8 children. City inspectors found multiple safety violations at the property, including unpermitted repairs and damage to fire barriers. Mayor Arunan Arulampalam says eligible tenants are being offered up to $4,000 in relocation assistance.
These things don't happen by accident. This wasn't unforeseen. When you don't take care of your properties, when you own properties in the city, and you make millions off of properties in the city and you don't take care of your properties, people get hurt. These are real properties and real people. These are real people who are getting hurt. And you might sit out there in Woodmere, New York, and you may not have to think about them. This might just feel like dollars on a spreadsheet to you. But we think about them every single day. These are our neighbors. These are our residents.
Now, the property's owner, Shlomo Surratt, appears on Mayor Arulampalam's problem landlords list, which identifies owners with a history of serious code violations or other concerns. City officials say their immediate focus remains on helping displaced tenants find safe housing while the building's future is evaluated. Following reports of misuse of state-issued purchasing cards, Comptroller Sean Scanlon is tightening oversight. Starting August 1st, state agencies must submit annual reports on P-card use and violations. Beginning next year, violations must be reported monthly. The Comptroller's office says P-cards could be revoked when policies are violated. All transactions are publicly available through the Open Connecticut Transparency Portal.